Hey, let's be real for a minute. When you were young, you've probably daydreamed about instantly mastering a skill, right? Like picturing yourself pulling off a perfect Spider-Man flip to impress your crush, casually strumming a guitar like a rock star, or even nailing a smooth breakdance move at a college party. Fast forward to adulthood and suddenly, hey, adulting is difficult. Now we crave skills that actually make life easier, like earning passive income through smart investing, rocking work presentations, or finally, mastering Excel so you don't feel like a caveman every time you open a spreadsheet. Here's the deal. Learning takes time, and honestly, most of us struggle with it. And you know what? It's not entirely our fault. Our education system wasn't built to teach us how to learn effectively. I spent years just memorizing facts instead of understanding how to absorb and apply knowledge efficiently. But what if I told you there's a smarter, more efficient way to do it? Today, I'm going to share science-backed methods to learn anything faster than everyone else. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear step-by-step blueprint to unlock your learning potential. Ready? Let's jump in. Ever been to one of those Excel training sessions where they show you all the cool advanced features and then a week later, you can't remember half of it? That's because you were stuck in what I like to call input mode, just taking in info without actually putting it to use. The secret? When it comes to learning Excel, the best approach is to apply it immediately. I found this out the hard way when I needed a specific solution in Excel. Instead of sitting through endless tutorials mindlessly, I jumped online, Googled exactly what I needed, found a solution, and used it right away. Suddenly, those formulas and functions really stuck because I was using them in a real-life situation. Think about learning to ride a bike. You can read every manual, watch every tutorial, and memorize every tip, but you won't actually learn to ride until you hop on the bike and start pedaling. The same applies to any skill. You learn faster when you actively engage with it, not just passively consume information. The takeaway here is simple. You learn faster when you actively use what you're learning. So applying what you learn right away is a game changer. But what if you could supercharge your memory too? Imagine this. You're studying for an exam by cramming the night before, and then you walk in, blanking out on half the details. We've all been there. Cramming overloads your brain without really helping the info stick. So what's the right way to do it? Instead of passively rereading your notes or just highlighting everything, try active recall. That means testing yourself. Cover your notes, try to remember the key points, and then check to see if you got it right. Now, mix that with the spacing effect. Rather than one giant marathon study session, spread your review out over several days. For example, if you're prepping for a history exam, start by testing yourself on Chapter 1 on Day 1. Then, on Day 3, revisit it while adding Chapter 2, and on Day 5, review both chapters. This gradual process helps reinforce the info until it really sticks in your brain. Active recall makes the facts memorable, and spacing out your study sessions helps lock them in for the long term. And it's not just for students. This method works wonders in adult life too. Say you're learning a new skill for work, like understanding a complex investment concept. Instead of trying to grasp all the details in one sitting, break it down over several days. Test yourself on one section, come back later to review, and gradually piece everything together. This way, you build confidence and competence without feeling overwhelmed. With that study hack under your belt, let's move on to another powerful tool, being smart about how you practice. You know how elite athletes train? They don't just go through the motions, they follow a focused and structured approach to getting better. That's what deliberate practice is all about. Targeting specific parts of a skill with repetition, feedback, and gradually tougher challenges. Let's use pickleball as an example because it's everywhere right now and you're probably playing it too. A casual player might just hit the ball back and forth for fun without any real plan. But if you're really trying to improve, you need deliberate practice in action. Say your backhand is a mess. You'd practice just that, isolating your backhand shots repeatedly. Start slow to nail the right form, then gradually ramp up your speed and intensity. And here's a cool tip. Get feedback. Record yourself or ask a coach to point out what you could do better. Maybe it's your grip or your positioning. Instead of just playing more matches and hoping things improve, take that feedback and run drills that focus on fixing your weak spots. This isn't about mindless repetition, it's about smart, targeted practice. I remember after learning about deliberate practice, it totally changes how I view practices. Example, when I was looking for a badminton coach, I steered clear of those who just had me practice without thinking. I chose a coach who offered real feedback, helped me identify my flaws, and set up structured drills to fix them. That's the magic of deliberate practice. Now, if this is giving you a "now I see it" moment, please like and subscribe. It helps more people discover these strategies. Okay, let's explore another method that takes your learning to the next level. Here's a little secret. You don't really know something until you can explain it to someone else. I remember a friend who was struggling with some tricky biology concepts. Instead of studying solo, we'd challenge each other to break down those ideas into simple terms. If you can't explain something simply, chances are you haven't really nailed it yet. So try teaching what you're learning, even if it's just to yourself in the mirror or an imaginary audience. You'll be surprised how much clearer things become. Now that we've seen how teaching can reinforce your understanding, let's wrap things up with one final principle that really focuses on what matters most in your learning journey. Not all learning is created equal. The 80-20th rule tells us that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. So instead of trying to learn everything, zero in on the most impactful bits first. For example, if you're learning Excel, you don't need to master every little function. Start with the most useful ones, like VLOOKUP and pivot tables. That'll give you the biggest bang for your buck at work. Focus on what matters, build those skills, and then gradually expand. The same goes for learning a new language. Don't stress over memorizing an entire dictionary from day one. Instead, think about it like this. Say if you're learning English, start by mastering common greetings such as hello, good morning, and basic phrases like how are you? Then move on to essential vocabulary, words for food, numbers, and directions that you can use in everyday situations. Once you've got that core down, you can gradually layer on more vocabulary and complex sentences. This approach builds a strong, practical foundation that really sticks. And here's the thing. What really holds us back isn't just how we learn, but what we believe about ourselves. In my next video, we'll uncover the hidden beliefs that might be keeping you stuck. Click here and let's break free together.